Miss Elms here again. So today we're going to be doing some subtraction with regrouping today. So grab a piece of paper and a pencil. Let's go.
Subtraction with regrouping. So we're going to be using this worksheet today. It's linked below. It's going to be in my Google Classroom if you're in my class. Or if you don't have this worksheet, you can just create your own. So what is subtraction? Subtraction is the process of taking one number away from another number. Another word for subtraction is the difference. So an example is 567 minus 357 equals 210. 210 is the difference. Another example is 383 minus 201 equals 182. 182 is the difference, or the answer to a subtraction problem. So what is regrouping? If you watched the previous video, we talked about regrouping before. Regrouping is the process of changing a group of tens into ones. When we go from subtraction, we're taking numbers, we're regrouping from the hundreds, or we're regrouping from the tens. When do we regroup? So in subtraction, you regroup or go next door when the numbers in the column are not enough to subtract. So if you look at the number 362, there's a 2 in the ones place, and we're subtracting 209. If we have two ones, we can't take 9 away. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to write the subtraction problem on your worksheet. And if there's not that space on your paper, that's okay, just follow along. So how do I start this problem? So tip, we start at the ones place. We always gotta start there. And so like I said before, we have 2 ones and 9 ones. We can't subtract. So our question is, do we need to regroup? Our answer is yes, we do. So we need to go next door and get one 10 stick, or get one more. So the 6 becomes a 5 and our 2 becomes 12. So now that we have enough ones, we can subtract. 12 ones minus 9 ones equals 3 ones. Now I want you to do this on your paper. You're regrouping from the tens place. So we took 1 from the 6 and that becomes a 5. And that 2 becomes a 12. And then we can subtract. 12 minus 9 is 3. So we need to make sure that we're doing all the parts of the problem. We did the ones, but we still need to do the tens column. So our tip is that great mathematicians make sure they did all the parts of the problem, because we're not finished even though we just did one part. Our tip is look at all the numbers in the tens place, because our 6 is no longer a 6, it's a 5. If we have 5 tens and we're taking away 0 tens, we would still have 5 tens. So we don't need to regroup. So 5 minus 0 is 5 tens. Now you're doing this on your own paper. We're in the tens column. 5 minus 0 equals 5. We've done the ones column, we've done the tens column. Now we're moving on to the hundreds column. Our tip is look at all the numbers in the hundreds place. We did that. 3 hundreds minus 2 hundreds equals 100. Do we need to regroup? No, we don't need to regroup because we have enough hundreds to subtract. 300 minus 200, that should be 100. Fill in the last part of your problem. Last step, we need to check our work. Let's think for a second. Think about ways you can check your work. One way I know how to check my work, my subtraction work, is by using addition. That's the inverse or the opposite of subtraction. My tip for you is start with the difference. That's the number we just found. So I got 153, so I'm gonna add that to 209. And then I'm gonna see, does that equal 362? 3 plus 9 is 12. The 2 goes in the ones place, and the 1 goes in the tens place. In my tens place, I have 1 10 plus 5 tens equals 6 tens. That's why I'm putting the 6 in the tens place. And finally, I'm gonna add my 1, which is 100, and my 2, which is 200, to get 3, which is why I have 362. So here are some good websites to continue your math learning. So if you're in my class, You can do iReady Math. You can do extra math. If you want some extra practice, there's Khan Academy where you can learn some other math skills. There's ABC Yeah, which has a lot of games, math games. And you can do Prodigy, which is a games-based math role-playing game. So now practice some subtraction with regrouping. You guys did a great job today. Stay tuned next week for fractions.
Okay, so we've done some subtraction with regrouping and we've done addition with regrouping. Stay tuned for next week where we start fractions.